go!
The blackness engulfing the room was absolute. Two trembling bodies were standing some far away, staring at each other with deep pain and affection. Beneath their shocking feet, the endless expanse of cold floor felt like frozen lake. Fear, they had once heard, acted as stimulant, sharpening the mind's ability to think, but this time both of their minds were blank. A lady in her 50s standing beside the door, watching them with piercing eyes while hands folded at her chest. It was like a drama for her. Out of two trembling bodies, the boy was standing beside the window, holding a pistol in his hand, targeting his own head. The girl who was standing some far away from his, yelling at him to put that gun down. Tears are continuously rolling out of their eyes. Taehyung, please put that weapon down. It's dangerous for you. You might hurt yourself. Mom, turning towards the 50s lady. Please tell him to put that pistol down. Hey baby, will you not hear of your wine? Your cheesecake? No. This time I couldn't hear your cheesecake. This time it's just me and my ruined life. I'm so tired of this life where no one wants me alive. So why don't I fulfill their wish and end my shitty life? Ryan, I love you so much, but we are not meant for each other. Goodbye. Before she did something, gunshot sound echoed in whole house. Everything paused on their places. Third sound of lifeless body came after gunshot and blood pool was started forming in the living room. Ryan hurriedly came toward Tay, but it was too late. He was gone. She grabbed Tay's body tightly, slightly slapping him to make him awake, but his body was in arms of Ryan, lifeless. A sad smile was on his face. His eyes were shut. Pistol fall from his hand. Taehyung, Tay, baby, open your eyes. Please open your eyes for your cheesecake, for your Ryan. You promised me that we will be together forever, so how can you leave me like this all alone? You need to open your eyes, hold me in your arms and kiss me. Ryan's body was trembling. She shouted at the lifeless body but got no reply. She cried while holding his body, both of their clothes soaked in blood. Ryan's gaze fell on the pistol. She holded it with shivering hands and pointed it on her head. If my Taehyung is not with me, then my life is useless. I'm coming with you, Tae baby. Your cheesecake is coming. Before she put the trigger, someone snatched it from the hand and sharp slap came on her cheek. Ryan, are you out of your mind? For this boy, you are snatching your life. Don't be stupid and end your life for this dead body. The lady pulled her from Taehyung's body and engulfed her. Ryan cried non-stop in her arms while holding Tae's hand. After crying for an hour in her mom's arm, she fainted. Her mom jerked off Tae's hand from Ryan's hand and laid her in her room. Some bodyguards were standing beside Tae's body. Bury this bastard body and don't left any clue for the police. Well, no one knows this jerk back, so we will not get any problem. Ryan POV. I slightly opened my eyes, feeling soft mattress under me. How can I come here? I was in living room. Taehyung, where he is? My Tae baby. She stood up apparently and ran toward living room. A vast fall by sudden jerk of her hand. She ran on shattered glass which were digging in her feet, but she didn't care about anything but Taehyung. The last thing she wanted to see was Taehyung's lifeless body. Bloody footprints were all over the living room. She shrieked in fear. Her mom came out of her room and grabbed her by her shoulders. Ryan, came out of your craziness. He is gone. He is no more. Ryan, you need to move on, darling. You need to find someone better. Ryan jerked off her mom's hand from her bodies and threw glass vase from nearby table. An instant slap sound echoed in this room. Ryan grabbed her red cheek, tears leaking continuously from her eyes. This is the last time I'm telling you softly to forget that faggot. He is no more and you have to find someone better because he was just a poor and cheap trash who himself ended his life. Vine ran to her room and locked it from inside. Screaming sounds were coming from her room, but her mom didn't care about her and thought that her daughter would forget her so-called puppy love in some days. After lots of screaming and crying, Vian's eyes became bloodshot, whole body was shivering, throat became sore, and blood dried in her feet where glass pieces were still digged in her feet. Vian was continuously staring at the photo frame of Taehyung, which was on her coffee table. She grabbed that photo frame, but her trembling hands couldn't hold it, and it fell from her hand, shattered into pieces. Vian's gaze fell on the glass piece and the sleep pills bottle on the table. She poured half of the bottle spill in her hand and ate them without water. Then she took the shattered glass piece of photo frame and deeply and slowly started cutting her wrist. While a crazy smile on her face, she was giggling between her sobs while watching the blood oozed out of her wrist. Her vision became blurry. She was continuously uttering Taehyung's name and gradually fell on the ground while eyes started closing slowly, yet the crazy smile didn't leave her face. Vian, I'm coming, Taehyung. I'm coming. Vian fainted nearby her door, so blood started flowing out of her room. When her mom didn't hear any more screaming, she came near her daughter's room but became shocked when she saw blood flowing out of Vian's room. She started banging on Vian's door but didn't get any response. She hurriedly called bodyguards and broke the door. Doctor, due to consumption of high dose of sleep pills, they showed adverse side effects and she also lost lots of blood, due to which I'm sorry to tell you this, ma'am, but your daughter is in coma. Doctor excused himself. Vian's mom was sitting on the chair, still in shock, though she snatched her daughter's happiness, her love of life, but she also loved her daughter very, very much. And now by seeing Vian's critical condition, her heart shattered into pieces. It's been 6 months, Vian is still in coma. Not. The next scene is inside the mind of Vian. Vian POV. White. Everything is white here. Why? Where I am? Why everything is white? Why the room is white? So white. A shadow? A black shadow? What is in the hands of that shadow? A pistol. Why that shadow pointing that pistol on himself? It's not a shadow. It's Taehyung. Still Vian POV. My Taehyung came back. Yes, it's my Taehyung. But why he's holding that gun? He's staring at me but this time his gaze is piercing at me. Why it's burning? Why his gaze is burning my flesh? Before I said anything, he shot himself. No. Sudden sensation started in Vian's body. Her mom was sitting beside her. She called the doctor hurriedly. Vian clenched her wrist and gradually opening her eyes, she saw herself in her bedroom. After 10 minutes, doctor came and checked Vian. Congratulations, Mrs. Young. Vian is coming out of a coma, but she still needs complete bed rest for a week. I'm giving you her prescription. You need to be careful with her. No shock, no mourn in front of her. Just give her lots of love and care. After thanking doctor, Vian's mom came back. Vian was staring at ceiling with stone emotion on her face. Her palm was still closed with tight grip and small tears were leaking out of her eyes. Her mom sat beside her, but she didn't give her attention, still staring. Even after a week, when doctor told her to come out of her room and start walking in garden, take fresh air for better improvement in her health, she didn't come out of her room and didn't allow anyone to come either. After 2 weeks of coming out of coma, Vian one morning suddenly came out of her room. Her mom became shocked by seeing Vian in front of her. She tried to hug her, but Vian backed off. Vian stared directly into her mom's eyes. She parted her dried lips, which didn't speak to anyone from past 6 months. Vian, I want to spend some months alone, so I want to live in an apartment alone. Her mom's smile faded. She tried to touch her shoulder, but Pine backed off. Pine, darling, it could be dangerous for you to live alone after coming out of coma. You should live here because here are all of your friends. You will feel better with them. Hang out with them. Ryan, no mom, I need some me time and I don't wanna meet anyone right now. I promise that I will take care of myself, but I need myself alone for some months. I will get my puzzle pieces back. YNPOV at apartment. A long sigh left my mouth. Now I will get some alone time. Even after being alone in my room for 2 weeks after coma, I felt like someone was watching me. In coma, also some sensations always occurred, and in deep sleep of coma too, I saw a black shadow multiple times. Still YNPOV. After settling all the things, I directly went to my bedroom and slept, though I still felt peculiar here, but maybe it's just because this apartment is new for me and I will take some time to accommodate. A sudden glass breaking sound waked me. Apparently, I instantly ran into my living room and found my favorite red vase on the floor in shattered pieces. Suddenly, I felt a gust of wind behind me. I turned around but found nothing. Curtains started flowing with stormy wind. I felt a presence in my living room. My gaze was roaming round and round to find something. Then I saw a black shadow floating in the air. I became terrified. I started step backward, then my foot struck with table and I fell on the ground. As the shadow pointed to the shattered glasses, I gazed upon the glass and became frozen. I could see Taehyung in those shattered pieces, but when I see above, I found a black shadow. I again gazed upon the glass and see my Taehyung is smiling at me. I gradually stood up while staring at the black shadow coming towards it. I took a big glass piece in my hand, though it was digging in my palm, but I didn't care. I tried to touch the face of the shadow and I actually felt like I'm touching my Taehyung. The shadow was quietly standing on its place. I again saw him smiling in that glass piece. Taehyung, my baby, you came back to me. I never went away from you. I was always beside you in your dreams, in your coma state and in your alone time. You know how much I got hurt when you tried to kill yourself? Before she responded, he disappeared. Her eyes widened. She yelled his name. She roamed in whole apartment in the search of him. She threw many glass items to sew him in those glass pieces, but she found nothing. She again lost him. After lots of crying, now she was standing in her kitchen. Her swollen eyes screamed at how much she cried. Her trembling hands were making coffee, though she felt someone's presence, but this time she didn't call him in the fear that what if he again disappeared? It's been a week. She still felt his presence, but now she felt protection and warmth in his presence. She sometimes saw a black shadow, and at that time she threw a glass item to see his face, but all went vain because after that day she never saw his face again. Now she became desperate to see her Taehyung again. Now she again wanted to hear cheesecake word from his mouth. She again saw a black shadow near her balcony. This time she took a deep breath and directly went into her balcony, and she could feel him standing beside him but couldn't see him. She gave a wide smile and fell from the balcony. She was sure that if Taehyung was there, then he would definitely save her, and that actually happened. She felt herself engulfed by that same black shadow. Feeling herself in the arms of Taehyung, she was flying in the air. Then she found herself again standing on the floor of the balcony. This time she could see her Taehyung without shattered pieces of the glass. She could see the transformation of shadow into human figure. Without any further second, Taehyung engulfed her into his arms. She grabbed his shirt tightly and cried loudly. He was still wearing that same shirt which had blood stains of his blood, but now that blood dried and glowing into golden color. He was caressing her hairs, trying to make her calm. My Taehyung, my baby comes back. You come back. Do you know how much I was crying? For you, without you, there was a deep hole in my heart which was unfilled. Please never leave me again, please, Taehyung. Promise me you will never leave me again. I'm sorry, baby. I'm terribly sorry that I left you, but I had no choice at that time. And why you have fallen from the balcony? Do you know how much I got terrified when I saw you falling from the balcony? What if I was not there to save you? Ryan chuckled. If you were not there, then I would become like you, a ghost, a beautiful ghost. Then we could live together forever. And also I knew that you were there. Also you will always protect me from every danger. And you stupid ghostie, smack his head. Where were you? Why you didn't appear again after that day? You know how much I got happy and excited when I see your reflection in those shattered pieces. I knew that you were around me whole time, but you bratty didn't appear in front of me. Golden water started flowing from Taehyung's whole white eyes. Then Ryan realized that those were tears. A toothy smile was on the face of Taehyung. My cheesecake is still rambling and I'm still hearing her. They both hugged for a long time, at least for half an hour. Ryan didn't care. Even Taehyung is not human and now he is a ghost. If he is with her, then she needed nothing. They both sat on the floor of balcony, didn't want to go into the room. Ryan was sitting on the lap of Taehyung while he was caressing her waist with long, warm fingers. You own a lot of answers. She was glaring at him. They hung his head down, snuggling in her chest. I know, and I will give answers of your every question. Well, I already know your question, so yes, I suicide that. You know, and you also know that my real parents died. No, they were murdered by my foster parents to get their inheritance. They also ill-treated me, beat me, forced me to do all the chores. They also told me that they were my real parents, which I accepted until I was 18. When I got the truth, I ran away from my home, lived poorly and don't know how I survived 2 years. Then I met you. Smile. My happiness, my life, my smile. Even after meeting you, my struggle didn't end, though you supported me in every way. But when you told about our relationship to your mom, everything tremendously changed. Wine followed. He held her cheeks in her arms. Wine, don't get me wrong, but your mom never liked me. She even threatened me to death for leaving you. She cursed me always in private and always offered me money to leave you, Cheesecake. I never told you about this because I didn't want to ruin your relation with your mom. Wine got completely shocked. She froze on his lap after hearing the dark and real side of her mom. She completely trusted on Wine. After all, ghosts can't lie. Cheesecake, don't cry. It was not your fault, baby. When I got extremely tired of my problems and your mom's everyday threat to death, I thought to end this ruined life where no one loves me. Everybody wants me to be bad and want me dead. So I suicide. A light slap came on Taehyung's cheek. Pabo, how can you say something like this that no one loves you? Then who am I, huh? Do you know how I got trauma by watching my love of life ending his life by his own hands? You never thought about me, always greedy and selfish. At least you should tell me about your problems. You break your promise. He grabbed her hands tightly. I'm terribly, utterly, extremely sorry, Vayan. My baby, my cheesecake. I got insane at that time from so much pressure. I also got a medical problem which needed lots of money that I couldn't afford. And I didn't want to tell you about my problems and give you stress. I was so much around problems at that time that ending life was the only option I saw. His words broke every piece of her heart. She cried his whole heart on his shoulder while she was caressing her back. He suddenly saw his hand started glowing and becoming dust. He sighed and backed off, which made Wine furrowed. Wine became utterly shocked when she saw Taehyung's body started glowing and becoming dust, which is mixing in the air. She tried to hold him, but her hand went inside Taehyung's body like she couldn't touch him. She yelled his name, but he just smiled and disappeared.